A warm welcome from the Stadium 29 in Nonthaburi, Thailand for the ASEAN Basketball League Season 9. It's the battle between the Mono Vampire Basketball Club and the Saigon Heat. The Saigon Heat, winners of their last 3 games, going up against a Mono Vampire team that has yet to find its groove this season. Sedaf Tupas with Jut Sulit bringing you the action today. And Jut, what can we expect from both teams tonight? I know Saigon has been on a roll, but Mono Vampire, it seems, has yet to get over the hump this season.
That's right, Sedaf, and we're almost halfway through the elimination round for most teams, and it still is boggling to me, mind-boggling for me, how the Mono Vampire have struggled through the first half of the elimination round. As you know, dating back to last season, they were finalists, and they even took Alab Pilipinas to a Game 5 in the finals, winner takes all. But right now, the new mix of players, the rule that has changed from 4 imports down to 3, it has caused some adjustments and some struggles on the part of Mono Vampire. Now, for the Saigon Heat, they have been very, very good. They are a team who did not bring a single player from last season, and it didn't take too long for this team to find their mix, for them to gel together and play like a superb unit.
Well, definitely, and led by that man right there, Trayvon Hughes, has been immense for the Saigon Heat. As we turn you over to our stadium announcer for the starting lineups.
Number 11, Sang Din. Number 12, Justin Young. Number 13, Muffy Benatowski. Number 20, Chris Dreiger. Number 22, Corey Searier. Number 34, Tim Wanwell. Number 33, Kai Baron. And number 93, Tung Son Yujen. Head coach Mr. Kai Julius ลำดับต่อไปค่ะเป็นการประกาศรายชื่อจาก Mono Vampire and now the team Mono Vampire Basketball Club.
Oh, and the chase down blocked.
First player, number 1, Macau White. Number 77, Shishai Ananti. Number 7, Michael Sigatari. Number 65, Tirawachan Tajoran. Number 69, Narongpan Apirom Wilashai. Number 5, Jason Brickman. Number 33, Nopon Sangtong. Number 36, Sorat Suntan Siri. Number 79, Chittapon Toweroy. Number 11, Mosset Morgan. Number 22, Frederick Jones. Number 13, Shanashon Glahan. And head coach Mr. Mani Dagrat. And his Mono Vampire Basketball Club.
Coach Douglas Marty of Mono Vampire has yet to come up with a winning streak for the Thai team here this season. Only 2 wins so far. And they've also lost their first 2 meetings with the Saigon Heat, all happening on the road. First meeting turned out to be an 87-76 win for the Heat. Second encounter was a much more lopsided scoreline, 101-82 for the Heat once again. Start out with Saigon Heat. Kotran was on fire against the Westport Malaysia Dragons the last time Saigon Heat were in action. 22 points, 4 of 8 3-point shooting, and 5 rebounds. What do you like about this guy's game?
You know, Sadel, that was the first game for the Saigon Heat that it was a local who top scored for them, and that was so big because we see so many people, so many new faces on this squad. They were actually, people spoke high of them. Guys like Justin Young, Chris Durker, Sangdin, and Koa Tran. And now they're showing why Koa Tran wasn't much of an offensive factor in previous games, but erupted. And now he shows he's capable of coming up with games like that. Now on the other side, Mike Singletary, in their last game against San Miguel Alab Pilipinas, he erupted. And he was a large reason why Mono was actually up for most of that game, especially in the first half. Singletary scored more than 20 points in the first half alone, as you can see, finished with 36. But the problem for Mono in that match, they gave up 24 points in overtime in just 5 minutes in that extension period. San Miguel Ala Pilipinas scored 24 points. That's just too much.
Well, Mike Singletary will try to carry Mono Vampire once again as we take a look at the previous result of Mono Vampire dragging Ala Pilipinas all the way to overtime. Still an encouraging sign for Coach Doug and his crew. We'll take a look at our player matchups. Jason Brickman, the veteran playmaker for Mono Vampire, up against Trayvon Hughes, another veteran, but only in his first season here in the ABL, but has already made an impact for Saigon. And Brickman, of course, a familiar face, is already his an ABL champion already. And Trayvon Hughes has been one of the cornerstones of this Saigon revamp, and their resurgence has been there for everyone to see so far this season. So Saigon starts out with Hughes, Tran, Bernatowski, Durker, and Kyle Baron. Very formidable starting lineup there.
Absolutely. You know, there used to be a different mix for Coach Cao Julius whenever he starts. Instead of Koa Tran, he used to start with Sang Din, but well, Koa Tran has more than earned his chance at starting. And now the Mono Vampire starting unit, familiar faces there, and they haven't mixed this up a lot. The problem or a concern here for the Mono Vampire squad, against San Miguel Ala Pilipinas, they got a lot of production from their imports. Singletary led everyone with 36, Malcolm White had 25, and Brickman with 22. However, aside from them, there was barely anything, and that's something you cannot afford, especially when the game goes into overtime. Of course, even though these athletes are professionals and they're fit, more than twice our fitness level, but you know, it takes a toll, especially going up against players who are equally talented and fit as you.
Well, also a point there is that when you get other players involved early, by the time you reach overtime or the fourth period, you can actually rely on them. As long as they are able to find a rhythm, they can actually contribute. And maybe that's something that Coach Doug Marty has to work on, like getting his locals involved in their offense early.
We have seen steady progress from the locals of Thailand, but that's going to be the big factor here favoring the Saigon Heat. It hasn't been just Koa Tran who has been impressive from the locals of the Heat this season. In fact, they have extracted very, very good performances from some of their locals. Remember their first win in the ABL, Sedel, in the ABL Season 9 was via a game winner from Justin Young. And in one of their matches, their last win against Mono Vampire, the Saigon Heat actually drew an 18.11 rebound performance from Chris Durker. So you never know which one of these Saigon locals will come out with a big performance. Let's see who does here tonight.
Chris Durker enters the game with a very solid 9.9 points, 7.4 rebound per outing. Just about underway here. The ball is up, and it's the Saigon Heat who win the tip. Wearing red against Mono Vampire with their home white jerseys. Trayvon Hughes. Go to the corner. Kotran, 3 ball.
That's the
Doesn't go.
confidence. The confidence you get when you're coming off a 22-point game. You can't blame him from taking that shot.
Inside, battle for the rebound. Mono Vampire come away with the basketball.
And there was a stretch in the season, Sadelf, where Trayvon Hughes was out with a hamstring injury. And while many expected Saigon to fold, to struggle through that period, it actually did them a lot of good, because that's when Murphy Bernatowski stepped up and became the leader of the squad and showed everyone that even though they're not the same team, arguably, less potent without Trayvon Hughes, they showed that they can hold their own.
Also the locals stepping up is Mike Singletary. The Heat unsuccessful in their first 2 tries. They're actually immediately attacking the interior defense of the Mono Vampire. It's Malcolm White inside. Great defense. Cotran with a steal. Hughes. Durker. Cotran is trying to go to the corner.
You see the energy of Coatran, what he's bringing into this game, and that started out on the defensive end. Him knowing the tendencies and the strengths of his man. He knows that Pam Apiron Vilaychay will not necessarily let that ball fly, so that gave them the opportunity to sneak behind Malcolm White and take that ball away.
Tran on the move. Bernatowski from beyond the arc. That's good.
Murphy Bernatowski, definitely one of the best shooters this season for the ABL.
That's Sean looking for a teammate. Finds Brickman. Brickman on the switch. Apiron Vilaychay. We'll go inside, left-handed layup. Great defense again, Cotran.
That's what you have to love about that guy. Even though he doesn't score the 22 points that he did in the last game, he will defend. He's so good at that end of the floor.
Hughes, 10 seconds to shoot. That is off.
Bailed out by that kickball violation called on Malcolm White. I thought Hughes actually lost control of that basketball.
Yep, right there.
Now, I'm not sure, Sadelf, if they actually call the kickball violations when it's unintentional like that. And I think that's what Coach Doug Marty was arguing about.
Hughes, the jumper. No good. Brickman with the rebound. Singletary. Singletary leaves that layup short there. And on the other side,
Murphy Bernatowski, just so versatile as a wingman.
Apiron Vilaychay, three ball, and that gets Mono Vampire on the scoreboard. Wide open there. Apiron Vilaychay.
Something that Mono Vampire will really need to do. They need to knock down their outside shots and allow Malcolm White to get more space underneath.
Durker gets it to go using the board there.
You only have to look at the build of Chris Durker to know how strong he is, and that's what he used to get that bucket.
That's short. Now with Brickman. Hughes right in front of him. Go to the other side. Singletary for three. Barone with the rebound.
I love the cross screen action we saw there that opened up Brickman, just not able to knock the shot down.
That's on the rebound. Great defense there, Malcolm White. Singletary's trying to split the defense.
You know, even though the Saigon Heat have gotten to 7 points already, the Vampires struggling with only 3, you can really tell that their offenses, the offenses of these two teams are not flowing the way they wanted to. You can credit it to defense, especially Coatran. Again, he's always somewhere near that basketball looking to strip it away, defend, or just make things difficult for Mono Vampire. At this point, the Vampire just there's a bit of luck on their side that the Saigon Heat haven't completely gotten their groove on offense yet.
2 for 2 for Mike Singletary. Coming off a 36-point performance in San Miguel, Alab, Pilipinas.
Singletary's a proven scorer here in the league.
Bernatowski stepping back, 3 ball. Singletary with a rebound. Goes to Malcolm White for the throw down.
Excellent pass from Singletary. He was looking one way. See it there, threw it the other. And wide open was Malcolm White for that jam.
Mid-sized crowd here at Stadium 29. Fans coming as early as an hour and a half before tip-off. Barone for three. That's good.
That's really the game right now. Not only for Barone and for the Saigon Heat, but for most picks. You have to have that outside shot. And that's the build of the Saigon Heat. Even Bernatowski knocks down the three-pointer.
Brickman using the pick from White. Nice entry pass, and Malcolm White banks it in.
Malcolm White will really have an easy time if he can work well with Brickman, the leading assist man of ABL history.
Kotran getting the contact, getting the scoop to go. That game against Malaysia really did a lot to his confidence here.
Absolutely. You only need one big game, for you to get your rhythm. Of course, he's a first-time player here in the ABL.
Bernatowski having shoulder fake. Bernatowski trying to wiggle free. Trayvon Hughes inside. Great teamwork there from the Saigon Heat.
It's hard to decide which was nicer, the finish or the pass, because Bernatowski threaded the needle there just to get that ball to use.
Now Brickman using that teardrop. Barone grabs the rebound. Jason Brickman has yet to find the mark in this ball game. Barone to use. Durker puts that ball on the deck. Drop pass again.
And that's the second time, Sidel, that the penetration of a Saigon Heat player drew multiple defenders and it opened up a simple drop pass for easy 2 points.
16-9 for the Saigon Heat. We have a timeout. You're still watching the ASEAN Basketball League Season 9. Rise to greatness. We're coming to you live from Stadium 29 in Nonthaburi, Thailand. Saigon Heat off to a blistering start here against Mono Vampire.
Well, right now, you see the struggle. We showed you the numbers. 3 of 8 only Mono Vampire is from the field. But it's really on the defensive end where they're struggling. Malcolm White, not exactly a rim protector, unlike what they had last year in Sam DeGuara, unlike the guy they had earlier in the season in Chris Charles. So naturally, it's been easy for Saigon to be dropping that basketball off. One pass and there's a guy open.
And also the backcourt guys also need to stay in front of these players of the Saigon Heat on the penetration. They get easily beaten so far. Saint Tong getting the first.
The challenge the challenge right now is really on the locals of Mono Vampire to be able to step up and let their imports play the kind of game they're used to. It's so important for locals to be able to complement their imports.
Bernatowski to Barone. Good line on the three, and another one drops for the Saigon Heat.
That's a big problem now if Baron can take White far out from the paint, because Malcolm is practically Mono's only major rebounder.
Brickman leads up to 8. Can Mono answer? Malcolm White. As Baron knocks down that short jumper.
And that's a shot that White loves, and he will always take that. One of his major weapons.
Durker. Fortran. Wide open 3 on the way. Another one.
Well, the adjustment of Coach Dog Marty was to fall into a zone, since Saigon was getting their buckets from under the paint. Brickman could not answer. But now that the outside shots of the Heat are also falling in, it opens up a new problem, a new dilemma for the Mono Vampire.
Can't do much when a team is shooting the lights out. Fortran. Celia. Bernatowski, they go to Baron. Free throw line jumper. In and out. Moses Morgan is in the ball game. 6 points away from the 1,000 point club in the ABL. Brickman attacks. Celia will be whistled for the foul.
See, Brickman, he is sort of shifting right now to more of a scorer role than what he assumed earlier in the season as a facilitator. Well, we know that guy can pass. Again, the #1 assists man in ABL history. But Mono Vampire is in bad need of more of his points production right now. And that's what he's giving them.
Brickman goes 2 for 2. Career averages in the ABL, 12.3 points and 10 assists. Wow. Just impressive from Jason Brickman. Baron inside. Durker trying to throw it down. Lost the handle. Ball slipping out of his hands there.
Felt like it would have been easy 2 points had he finished with a simple shot.
Singletary still struggling from the field. Mike Singletary. Natowski. For Baron. Fortran. Nice rotation. Natowski from the corner. No good. And Durker with a rebound. He'll go to the line for 2 free throws.
Durker plays a very important role in the Saigon Heat. Because of his size, of his heft, and his strength as well, it allows Murphy Bernatowski to step out and take those jumpers that he loves. And you can't also question that for Bernatowski, because he shoots 49% from beyond the range, beyond the arc. With Durker there protecting that paint, ready to grab offensive rebounds. It's just a great mix right now for the Saigon Heat.
Now, one guy who doesn't really need the ball to be effective. Here's Durker, just all-out hustle. Fans trying their best to distract Chris Durker. They were successful. Brickman. Morgan. Lahan is in the ball game. Jumper is a miss right there. Fortran pulls up. It's a wild shot. Brickman with the basketball. Goes to Singletary. Singletary on the move. Blocked by Baron.
That was great help from Kyle Baron, but also incredible initial defense from Bernatowski. Look how difficult he made that shot for Mike Singletary, and then Baron just had it when that ball went up.
Moses Morgan gets the inbound. A lot of time in the shot clock here for Mono Vampire. Brickman on the move. Jason Brickman getting a one-hander to go.
You have to love and seeing Jason Brickman in takeover mode. Whether it's finding his teammates or scoring for himself, he's just a talented basketball player.
Durker right now goes inside to Bernatowski. 3-second violation. And one of the rare times here that Mono was able to get a stop.
You know where that turnover stemmed from? It stemmed from Chris Durker trying to back down his defender. Like you said earlier, he's not exactly a guy who will ask for the ball and then start his move, operate, try to break his defender down. Tried an experiment that time, didn't work out too well for Saigon.
To Singletary. Still no goal for Mike Singletary. 7-second differential, game clock and shot clock. Celia, another three.
The release honestly did not look that pretty, but you can't argue with the result.
That's 5 3-pointers in the first quarter for the Saigon Heat. Brickman, 6 seconds to work with. Moses Morgan, 4-3. No good, Durker. An impressive start to this ball game for the Saigon Heat. And just like in their first two meetings, the Heat in control early at Stadium 29. 5 3-pointers, 2 from Celia. Kyle Barone and Bernatowski also contributing with long bombs. 25-17 at the end of one. Second period underway here at Stadium 29 in Nonthaburi, Thailand. It's Mono Vampire staring at an 8-point deficit at the end of one. They have the basketball to start the period. Malcolm White with a jumper. Alvaro with another rebound. That's his 6th for the ball game. Ah, no look pass. And Durker with a throwdown off that lovely feed from Taewon Hughes.
Again, that's the mix of the front court of the Saigon Heat. There was someone who defended Malcolm White's shot. There was someone who got the rebound in Cal Baron, and then Durker was already ahead of everyone.
Baron, double-digit lead for the Heat. Taken away by Brickman. With a nice move.
Such a beautiful move from Chichai Ananti, one of the locals who can definitely step up for Mono Vampire.
Minatowski, double team. Looking for a teammate. And that works for Mono Vampire. They get the stop. But impressive first quarter here for the Saigon Heat. They had 9 assists from their 10 field goals in that first quarter. And went 5 of 11 from beyond the arc as well. And for Mono Vampire, they were 1 of 7 from a 3-point line.
That's right. And they actually shot below 30%. Talking about Mono Vampire from the field in the first quarter. That's more like it for them. Malcolm White attacking and getting his points near the bucket.
We'll see how that pans out later on. Malcolm White doing well against the defense of Calbaron. Trayvon Hughes goes to Celia. Switch it over to the other side. Durker puts that ball on the deck. The one-hander is good.
Chris Durker stepping up, and he had his breakout game against Mono Vampire. Looks like he's on it again today.
Brickman gets into the middle. Nice turnaround shot.
Now that is why Mono Vampire got the services of Malcolm White, because he's someone who is so comfortable getting and operating underneath.
Barone almost traveled there. Trayvon Hughes, 3-ball.
Wow, the defense already stopped Barone from his attack. One pass and they get a 3-pointer.
White. Morgan gets the handoff. Pulls up. That's good. Moses Morgan spent 3 seasons with the Saigon Heat and now is suited up for Mono Vampire. That's his first 2 points of the ball game.
Morgan also missed 3 games before returning in their previous one. Here he is again. Moses Morgan.
5 straight points for Moses Morgan. And he is 1 point away from joining the 1,000 point club. Almost there for Moses Morgan, a milestone looming for the Mono Vampire forward. Timeout called by the Saigon Heat as they lead by 4. Saigon led by 10 early in the second period, but the lead has been cut down to just 4. Take a look at the 3-point shooting stats there. 2 of 9 for Mono Vampire, 6 of 11 for the Saigon Heat, but they're only ahead by 4. 5 straight points for Moses Morgan forces Coach Kyle Julius into a timeout. And Saigon Heat with the basketball now. Renatowski trying to answer. That smooth, soft touch.
The offense of Mono Vampire, they're already figuring it out. The problem right now is on the defensive end. It has to happen on both sides.
Oh, Moses Morgan eclipses 1,000 points. What a moment for the Thailand forward. Is actually really not aware here. Just all business for Moses Morgan.
Well, the thing is, they're not yet leading, and I'm sure more than breaking into the 1,000 points club, Moses would love to take a win here.
Tyler Leash is in the ball game as well. Morgan, nice pass to White.
How about Moses Morgan really stepping up? Here in the second quarter, he's the biggest reason why they've climbed back and they have trimmed the deficit down to 4.
Trayvon Hughes, go down low. Singletary breaks up the play. Singletary leading the break. Mike Singletary! Possible and 1.
We described it, we said it a little bit earlier, it has to start on the defensive end. And once Mono figures out how to defend the Saigon Heat, they will be able to compete much better in this game. And look at that, Singletary getting the steal, taking it all the way, and finishing an end one opportunity for him.
I just like how Moses Morgan has injected energy here to Mono Vampire. They needed another threat, another scoring threat, and he has provided that as well.
That's right. Morgan actually enters this ball game averaging 10.7 points. He's almost up to that total here in the second quarter. They can take the lead here.
Morgan going all the way to the rack.
And there it is, that 10-point average. More importantly, the lead now with the Vampire.
Crowd coming alive here as Freddie Leash. Next, Kyle Barone. Leash will be whistled for the personal.
On the roll, Barone seemed like he tripped on the feet of Freddie Lish. You'll see it here. There you go. Nothing intentional there. But possession will stay with Saigon.
Kotran is back in the ball game. It's Bernatowski in. Barone getting a breather as well. Another huge opportunity here for Mono Vampire. Without the rim protector of the Saigon Heat. They can capitalize here. Trayvon Hughes against Freddie Leash. Hughes loses the handle. Leash running the break. Singletary. Coltran pleading his case there. But it is a foul nonetheless.
That is 3 consecutive turnovers for the Saigon Heat and 3 consecutive opportunities at the basket for the Mono Vampire. First, it was Singletary getting the steal and then completing a 3-point play. Then remember that layup from Moses Morgan. That came from an Apiron Vilaichai steal. And now again, they get the basketball and Singletary putting points up for Mono Vampire.
Pandin is in the ball game. As Coach Kyle Julius shuffles his men. 2 for 2 for Mike Singletary. 40-37. 13-point turnaround here in the second period. And it happened within the first 5 minutes of the second period. That shows you the potential of this Mono Vampire team when you're on their game.
Mono, for them it's simple. They're mixing their defense up. They've shied away from that zone and are going man-to-man again. Barone tried to break that.
Durker, that's a 3. No good on that one. Morgan with a rebound. Leash. Trying to get past Durker. Leash hanging in the air and scoring.
He knew he had speed advantage over Durker and just cooled his defender.
And Bernatowski here. On the move. Is a travel.
And Murphy's guilty. He knows what happened there. And Sidelf, again, it's the defense of Mono Vampire. And they're really suffocating the Saigon Heat right now. And most importantly, they're not just getting stops. They're translating those to buckets on the other side.
Ready Leash to Singletary against Bernatowski. And it will be Singletary with a turnover and a foul.
I actually thought Bernatowski had a case there asking for a a sportsman-like foul on Singletary. That falls under Article 3 of the FIBA rulebook when it comes to unsportsmanlike fouls, when a defender is trying to stop the transition attack of the offensive team.
Let's take a look at that. Bernatowski was already with an advantage already.
It's very similar to a call that was whistled on Mike McKinney when Ray Parks got a steal on him. McKinney gave up a duty foul, just trying to make sure that Parks doesn't get an easy layup, and he was called for an unsportsmanlike.
Singletary will be whistled for the charge there. Getting too aggressive here.
Yeah, I got a little bit too excited. But still, you know, the transition opportunities of Mono, they've come in bunches here. In the second quarter, Sang Din just sacrificing his entire being for that offensive foul on Mike Singletary.
Perron Villachai making a nuisance of himself there on Bernatowski. But it ends up as a foul.
Gotta be smarter than that and a bit more careful. He was practically asking for that foul to be whistled.
And Kotran actually has 3 fouls, and Perron Villachai goes to the bench. And Brickman returns. Okay, second foul on Perron Villachai. Bernatowski against Morgan. Celia, that's another wide open 3, short this time. Singletary. Goes to Morgan. Freddie Leash, 3-ball. Doesn't go. Cecilia. Taking it strong to the rack. That's 8 points.
Great
for
move
Celia.
from Corey Celia. 3-pointer did not fall for him anymore. Took it to the bucket and used his strength as a guard.
Mono on top, 42-39 crossover. Brickman leaving Celia in the dust.
Jason Brickman is so good off the dribble, and he's so deceiving. So you give him a solid pick, he will find a way to get a bucket for his team.
Barone steps back, and the 3-ball has not worked here for the Saigon Heat in the second period. Singletary just bullying his way inside.
You see how Mike Singletary attacks every time. He's looking for that bump, and he hides that basketball so well, protecting it so that when the bump comes, he'll still be able to compose himself and get the layup.
Brickman almost another steal there. Bernatowski recovers.
Oh, just unfortunate there that at the last second, Lish was called for a foul. They were playing great defense already, and Mono Vampire was on its way to forcing a shot clock violation.
Freddie Leash, that's a breather. Chayananti is back in the ball game. Solid minutes there for Freddie Leash. 2 fouls. Bernatowski goes baseline, and Moses Morgan is the guilty party there.
Right now, Saigon, they've shifted their offense up a bit. You mentioned in the first quarter, 9 out of their 11 field goals came off of assists. Now it's a bit more of one-on-one, and I think it's been rattled. Their offense has been rattled by the defense of the Mono Vampire. Their passes were being picked earlier, so you become a little bit more reluctant when it comes to passing. Thus, you fall into the trap of playing isolation one-on-one basketball.
I also think the intensity defensively has also turned up a notch for Mono Vampire.
And that's why it's so important, Sadelf, to maximize the opportunities and, you know, just not exactly trying to cheat the rule book, but going as far as it will allow you. Those little bumps, as you see that backdoor cut from Ananti. And, of course, being spotted by his teammate, Jason Brickman.
Now you're seeing a different side of the Mono Vampire. This was not the Mono Vampire that played in the first quarter, actually. Great ball movement. Bernatowski is open, in and out.
Very lucky break for Mono Vampire that shot did not fall in.
Ananti. Back rims the 3-ball. Albarone. All the way to the rack. Durker keeping it alive. Morgan grabs the rebound. Brickman goes to Malcolm White. Ananti now. White on the low block against Barone. White getting good position and scoring once again.
Earlier, he was taking shots over Kyle Barone, who has size advantage over him. Now White taking his defender deep into the post, and he's getting more points from there.
Ball movement here. Barone is open, And he knocks that one down.
But on the other side, Kyle Barone still drawing the defense of White far out from the basket, knocking down his third three-pointer of this game.
Brickman again. Celia was able to recover and get the block. Take a look at this nice defensive gem by Corey Celia.
Celia's actually showing a lot of physical gift for a guard. Earlier he was backing down. Oh, physical gifts? Malcolm White there for you.
16 points for Malcolm White. Really done a fantastic job to get into position and attacking the defense of Barone. But he gives up a foul here.
Yeah, that's the curse of Malcolm White. Even when we got to watch him in different leagues that he's played in before, he has that tendency of picking up, well, ill-advised fouls. He's fortunate, though, however, that that's just his first in this game. I also think that Malcolm White is the perfect partner for Jason Brickman in running those pick and rolls or pick and pops, because he has that jumper, and as he's proven over the last few possessions, he can very well bully his way underneath and get buckets near the basket.
What about Mono Vampire here in the second quarter, Judd? 35 big points.
Remember that they shot less than 30% in the first quarter. Right now, their field goal clip is up to 55.
Vampire calls for a timeout. 52-46 with 31.5 seconds remaining in the first half. Mono Vampire. Mono Vampire has outscored Saigon Heat 35-21 in the second quarter. 7-second differential game clock and shot clock. Jason Brickman. And Celia. Nice matchup here. And Nanti getting the step. Couldn't finish though. Bernatowski. He has time.
Oh no, Malcolm White down on the far end of that court. He tried to go for the putback on that Ananti miss. And he remains down on the floor right now.
Malcolm White concern here for Mono Vampire. Sang Din and Coach Doug Marty there discussing what happened.
It's very, very unfortunate right now for Mono Vampire. We hope that it's nothing major for Malcolm White. He is Mono's leading scorer at this point. Let's see what happened here. White will try to go for that putback, and there was a bump from Bernatowski.
They have gotten away with the push there, Bernatowski.
You know what? I don't think that's going to be a major injury. I think maybe it's a muscle that got hit, but I'm no doctor, but I can just assume that he'll be back at some point in the second half.
But they give up the foul here, and Bernatowski is at the line once again. He misses the first one though. 6.6 seconds remaining. Split at the line, 52-47. Ananti gets it back, but he is blocked by Durker.
And what a block that was! That is how you want to end your first half, especially if you're trailing and you want to carry some sort of momentum of something positive back to your dugout.
52-47. Mono Vampire, after a slow start, picking up their game in the second period. Macau White leading the way with 16 points. Mike Singletary, leading rebounder with 6 rebounds, but Moses Morgan also contributing off the bench with 10. The Saigon Heat, led by Kyle Barone with 13. And they trail by 5 as Mono with a 52-47 lead at the break. Malcolm White hobbling at the end of the first half, looks set to return for Mono Vampire as they lead the Saigon Heat 52-47 entering the third period. It was a tale of 2 different quarters for Mono Vampire, 17-25 at the end of one, Saigon leading that one, but in the second period they outscored the Saigon Heat 35-22, and that's why they are on top right now, 52-47. What changed for Mono Vampire in the second period, and why were they able to turn this game around?
The first thing that changed for them is their effectiveness on the defensive end. They were reading the passing lane and they were getting in it, taking away those careless swings by the Saigon Heat, and again that opened up opportunities in transition. They actually scored 11 points off turnovers, off of the 7 turnovers of the Saigon Heat in the first half. And how about this? 23 fast break points, Adelph, in only 20 minutes of play. But the whopping number also here is how Mono has been unselfish with the basketball. 16 assists in the first half alone, when in their 12 games that they've played in the season, they only average 17.7 dimes per game. They're already up to that total with 20 more minutes remaining, and that is huge. That has given them the lead here in this game.
One key stat for Saigon Heat is that they've shot 8 of 18 from the three-point zone. Mono Vampire, in comparison, shot only 3 of 12, but somehow Mono Vampire has compensated for that with some baskets inside the paint, led by Malcolm White.
The main guy also, yes, you're right. White was the major producer with 16 points in that first half. But it was Moses Morgan again in that second quarter. We kept saying it, that he sparked that comeback for Mono Vampire. I remember you saying at some point that, Moses Morgan is 6 points away from getting to 1,000, and the next thing we knew, he was already there because he just scored so many points in a string.
10 points in just 14 minutes of play in that first half, and we're underway in the third period. It's a miss from Durka, I believe, in that first possession.
Oh, but Celia almost throws it away, and it eventually turns out to be a turnover for the Saigon Heat.
Look at this. Trayvon Hughes trying to save that basketball. Couldn't keep his balance there. Couldn't keep the ball in play. Another turnover for the Saigon Heat.
Hughes has actually been quite passive in this game. But he's a guy who can flip a switch in an instant, so Mono has to be careful. They got to watch that guy here in the second half.
We go inside. Durker read that play very well.
Back-to-back turnovers for Mono Vampire.
Hughes goes to Celia. Barone inside. That's Chantachon, who will be whistled for the personal.
We were talking also about how the other guys, the locals of Mono Vampire, were not felt in their previous match against San Miguel Alab Pilipinas. Well, in this game, Sadov, they have 18 bench points already in. That's a huge boost for them.
Led by Moses Morgan, of course. Freddie Leash came in and also provided some good plays. Durker was blocked there. Singletary. Mikowski sees some daylight. That's a three. Good line once again, but he misses that one. And Trayvon Hughes just caught Mike Singletary napping there.
Oh, so sneaky, Trayvon Hughes. And he dishes that basketball to Bernatowski, who had an easy deuce.
The Mono Vampire, just in the same way that they started this ball game. It started out very slow again in the third. Malcolm White, the jumper, could not get the roll. Alvaro now.
He described it perfectly, you know. Mono looking like the team we saw at the start of this game.
Bernatowski goes to Trayvon Hughes. Back to Bernatowski. The cut from Durker, trying to throw it down, but he falls short this time. A couple of dunks already missed by Durker. Aperon Villachai too strong on the three. Celia to Hughes. Steps back, takes the three, and White grabs the rebound.
That's a careless pass. It was just very, very difficult, and it had a slim chance of making it a Singletary with a defender on him.
Aperon Villachai goes to Brickman. Vampire still scoreless in the third. It remains that way as Brickman misses the three. Minatowski. That is off a Mono Vampire player. Saigon will keep possession.
I know it hasn't been that pretty, but I like the action we're seeing here in the early goings of the third quarter because you feel the grit from both teams. They're upping their defensive intensity, and it has led to very tightly contested shots, and even that one, which could have been an easy one for Durker. Chantachon making sure that he'll have to earn it from the line.
So Durker is back at the free throw line, missed a couple of dunks already in this ball game. Tried to make up for that, the foul line, but he misses the first one. He also has 6 rebounds to go with his 6 points. Free throw is in and out, much to the delight of this Mono Vampire crowd. Singletary. Aperon Villachai misses that one. Chantachon grabs the rebound. Quick inside passing. And Aperon Villachai using the left hand and the reverse.
Well, Palm has been struggling with this outside shot. The first 3 points of the game were courtesy of him, but he hasn't scored from outside since then. Took it inside instead.
Celia misses the three. Back comes Mono Vampire. Aperon Villachai getting the step. Chantachong inside, struggling. Great interior defense there. Chantachon unable to score. Both teams locking down defensively.
I really expect Hughes to be in some sort of takeover mode at some point here in the third quarter. He's been quite silent. Only 7 points for him, although he does have 6 assists. Whenever he's on the floor and Saigon is winning, it's usually him being unstoppable on the offensive end. He, after all, is the leading scorer still of the Saigon Heat with 24.3 points. Right now, Coach Doug Marty redeploying the man who sparked their comeback in the second quarter, Moses Morgan.
Hughes. Took pass to Durker. Forcing his way inside. Singletary with the rebound. Morgan. Quick pass. Brickman. The jumper is good.
There was no one else around him. No defender within 2 feet. Brickman, that was too easy for him.
8 points for Jason Brickman. Barone knocks down the 3. Stopping the bleeding for the Saigon Heat.
That's already the 4th three-pointer of Kyle Barone. 16 points for the big man.
Singletary. Malcolm White rolls to the basket and finishes at the rim.
Miscommunication there on the defensive end. Barone and Bernatowski both committing to Singletary, allowing White to roll easily.
Hughes losing the handle.
Great block from Sangtong.
Brickman pulls up for 3, short. Bernatowski looking up. And to spot a teammate. Bernatowski taking it all the way to the rack, and he will get the roll this time. Nobody stopping there. Bernatowski going all the way coast to coast.
Bernatowski, just so many things he can do on the offensive end. You got to be aware of all of them.
Singletary. That's the switch against Barone. The 3 ball from Mike Singletary doesn't go.
White was a bit frustrated there. He felt that the advantage was with him being guarded by Bernatowski, but Singletary opted for that outside shot. Here's an easy lay-in for Brickman in transition.
Jason Brickman now in double digits, 10 points. But Barone, how good has he been in this game?
Well, he's the one keeping Saigon alive. 5 three-pointers already for the center.
Brickman goes back to White. There's a double team.
White forced that one. He saw the double team coming and just wanted to put that shot up.
3-point lead for Mono Vampire. Been a low-scoring affair in the 3rd period. 60-57. We'll be right back. Saigon Heat with the basketball. 4 minutes and 20 seconds remaining in the 3rd period. They're trailing by 3 against Mono Vampire. Murphy Bernatowski draws closer. He's been struggling in the 3rd period. Struggling to get going here. Morgan is free. Brickman. As the basketball goes to Morgan. Stripped. Hughes on the move.
Oh, what a block! Look at the look on the face of Singletary. Oh, that was clean too.
Got all ball there. Mike Singletary. Hughes thought he had 2 points there. Bernatowski steps back, goes to Barone. Bernatowski looking for his shot. The 3 ball doesn't go once again. Bernatowski, after a sizzling start to this ball game, is now 2 of 8 from beyond the arc.
Barone is actually shooting higher, a much better clip compared to Bernatowski, but see that motion action for the Mono Vampire here, almost lost, and that turns out to be a good bailout for Mono, but Morgan not appreciating the bump from Durker, gets called for a technical foul.
The second motion there for Moses Morgan, but the whistle was an unsportsmanlike foul first on Durker.
Honestly, from the angle that we have, I did not see where the extra or the unnecessary bump was. I knew that they both collided hard, but I thought it's just because they're both strong and well-built men, you know. We'll have to try and take a look at a different angle for us to see where the unnecessary motion was from Durker.
I thought it was just Durker's momentum.
Exactly, which I thought could have been argued as a legal, just a regular foul. Obviously, there was a foul from Durker, but for sure the referee saw something. It hit the above the shoulders of Morgan. But still, you know, even if a guy gets hit above the shoulder, if there wasn't unnecessary movement, it doesn't always get elevated to an unsportsmanlike foul.
So Morgan misses the first free throw.
And the look on Coach Dog Marty's face says everything.
But they will get possession here. Oh, 0 for 2, Moses Morgan.
So from the free throws, it's even the Saigon Heat who gets an advantage because Morgan went 0 for 2 and Trayvon Hughes got that technical free throw.
Morgan not liking the foul, but
I think Moses calmed down immediately and realized, okay, it's all part of the game.
Misses the corner 3. And back comes the Heat. Barone. This time Malcolm White forced into defending and making the adjustment there.
5-out offense here for Saigon.
Hughes settles for the 3 ball. That's another miss. Malcolm White gets the bump and the basket.
Hughes tried to sell an offensive foul on White, but did too little, I believe, to get that call. And also White knew. It was so smart of Malcolm White because he knew that Hughes was waiting for it and probably the refs were already waiting for that collision, and if Hughes fell down to the floor, maybe it would have been a charge on White, so he controlled himself and used sort of a sidestep to kill his momentum.
20 points for Malcolm White. He could not complete the 3-point play.
But how close this game is being contested, Mono might regret all those free throw misses.
So Singletary with another defensive gem. Singletary, 3 ball. Still no good. 0 for 5. Mike Singletary from beyond the arc.
And that's the team, Mono shooting 3 for 19.
Somehow they've found a way to overcome their struggles from beyond the arc. 62 to 58.
That's a 3rd foul on Trayvon Hughes back to back.
Freddie Leash returns, replacing Saintong. Brickman. That's the pick from White. Goes to Morgan. That ball was halfway in before going out. Barone going coast to coast.
No foul there, just good strip. Malcolm White trying to kid around with Barone, but Kyle not having any of it. He was looking for a foul there. And Morgan may have cooled down a bit after erupting in the second period He was scoreless in his stint here in the third.
It's a 3-ball from Barone. His 6th of the ball game.
It's just insane, the performance of Cal Barone today. He would usually get his points posting defenders up, getting dunks off of assists. Now he's shooting from beyond the arc. How about that?
From Brickman over the outstretched arms of Barone. Vampire retaining the 3-point advantage. Renatowski go inside to Durker, adjusting in midair.
That would have been a highlight if Durker knocked that, he got that shot to fall. You see the passing there of the Saigon Heat. First that behind the back pass from Trayvon Hughes, and then the dish, the drive and dish, opening up that shot from Durker. Well, they will retain possession anyway as Durker got the offensive board. Something he usually does. He gets the job done, cleaning glass for sure.
Durker went 0 for 2 the last, 0 for 4 so far, and he gets the first one to go. 1 of 5 for the ball game. Murphy Bernatowski, 5 of 14 in this ball game. Jot, you're seeing some hesitation from him that time. And he gave that ball up to Durker.
Bernatowski, you mentioned, 5 for 14. Trayvon Hughes, 3 for 9. The guy who's keeping them in this game is Kyle Barone. 7 of 13, 6 of those made field goals coming from beyond the arc. He's got 22.
Brickman misses the 3. Bernatowski with the rebound. Ananti trying to stay in front. Bernatowski challenging the defense and getting a foul. Will go to the line for a couple of foul shots.
That's what we meant earlier when we were talking about Bernatowski stepping up when Hughes was out of this Saigon Heat lineup due to an injury. Bernatowski served as their point forward, and although for a time it didn't look like it was working because they sort of struggled during that adjustment, but eventually they found a way to make it work so well. Bernatowski, there was even a game he got to 40 points.
Bernatowski is such a versatile player.
He's got a lot of experience under his belt. Was a member of the Canadian national team before.
Ananti gives it up to Singletary. Brickman goes to Singletary, fading away, and he knocks down the jumper.
That's a familiar connection. Jason Brickman to Mike Singletary. Those two conniving again to produce for the Mono Vampire.
66 to 64. Renatowski taking it strong. Could not get the roll. Barone puts it back in. Malcolm White not there. Barone getting the putback.
We're tied again at 66.
Ananti from the corner. Could not knock that one down. Otran.
What a reception there for Hughes.
Hughes using all that athleticism to keep that ball in play. Renatowski on the move, stepping back, 3-ball. No good. Durker!
Wow. That was an incredible putback from Durker. And going back to the end of the second quarter, Durker was the guy who made that big block to sort of get something positive for Saigon to end that period. And now here at the end of the third, he gets the shot that gives the Saigon Heat the 68 to 66 lead at the end of the third quarter.
fourth and final quarter here at the Stadium 29, Ananthaburi, Thailand. Mono Vampire leading by 5 at the end of the first half, now trailing by 2 to the Saigon Heat. Field goal shooting so far, Mono shooting better. 46% to 41 for the Heat. Bernatowski with the basketball.
Yeah, you're right. Mono is shooting better. But this is the number on your screens is where the advantage is coming from. 3-pointers. Baron hit a lot of them earlier, but this time he takes it to the basket for that two-handed jam.
And Malcolm White, token resistance there on the defensive end. Brickman gives it up to Leash from the corner. Doesn't go. Avon Hughes. He's been quiet, but look at that move. Looking away and delivering that left-handed layup.
I still remember Akeem Scott, and I can just say, you know, super in contrast, the games of Akeem Scott and Trayvon Hughes. Just so in control Trayvon is.
Kyle Barone has been incredible in this ball game. Getting position in the low block, and Malcolm White did not do anything about that. He's also been hitting from beyond the arc. He's got 6 3-pointers. He's got 26 points. Kyle Barone. 14 rebounds as well. Really, the primary reason why the Saigon Heat are looking good on the road.
Bro, look at his numbers. 26 points, 14 rebounds. A monstrous double-double for him. And during the stretches where and when his fellow imports Bernatowski and Trayvon Hughes were struggling, it was him, Kyle Barone, who said, okay, no worries, guys. Get your rhythm. I'll take care of the game for the meantime. And now that Trayvon Hughes and Bernatowski are getting their groove already, they've been contributing here in the fourth quarter. The Saigon Heat becomes a bigger problem for Mono Vampire.
Mono Vampire all of a sudden trailing by 6 now. Singletary to Brickman. White has inside position, but Cotran is back in the ball game and has made that turnover possible. Hughes steps into that jumper. That's short.
Was looking for a foul, non-whistled, but look at that, Cotran taking it again and finishing with the left hand.
Wow, what a spark off the bench. Cotran limited by 3 fouls in the second period, returning in the fourth, and has provided some hustle and some energy on the defensive end. 8-point lead for the Saigon Heat.
Tran is not getting to his 20-point output, which he pulled out the last win against the Malaysia Dragons, but he has 3 steals already and 4 assists. That's a big contribution.
Leash is erased by Turker there. Barone running the break. Goes to Turker. Hughes is open and he'll go for the reverse. And the shimmy as well.
That's just an incredible move from Trayvon Hughes. Knowing that Malcolm White was gonna go for that initial shot, and took it to the other side of the court. Now you see me, now you don't. 2 points and the bonus for Hughes.
Using some English on that reverse. Sticking it to the backboard at first, and then ball going in. Trayvon Hughes, you feel like he hasn't reached third gear in this ball game. Hang on, just on second gear, really.
He makes basketball look very easy, that's for sure. Now he's in the same conversation as Anthony Tucker, where it's easy to say that he's not really pouring out his all of his effort, but that's just the way they play, you know. It will not look like an explosive Akeem Scott, like we mentioned earlier, or Marcus Million Xavier Alexander, where you feel all the emotion and all the intensity. But I can tell you they're pouring everything they've got.
Hughes draws the foul on Singletary, who has struggled mightily from beyond the arc. 0 for 6. And this is a court that Mike Singletary has mastered, really, over the course of his stint with Mono Vampire. 77-66 now. Bernatowski gives it up to Barreau. That's another 3. Too strong this time.
That's a miss, but still the Saigon Heat off to a 9-0 run to start the fourth quarter. Can Mono Vampire finally get the lid off of that bucket? No, they cannot.
Not yet. As Hughes slow to get up. Barone bringing that ball down. Fortran. Hughes against Aperon Bilachan. 8 seconds to work with.
Oh, look at him.
He splits the defense right there. And Trayvon Hughes has come alive in the fourth period. 79-66. 15 points for Hughes.
You know, his moves are just so calculated. As Brickman gets that J, too open to miss. Going back to Trayvon Hughes, he knew what he wanted to do, and even though shot clock is winding down already, he wasn't rattled at all. He was still orchestrating who he wants to set the screen and all that.
Stepping back, Trayvon Hughes missing. The tap goes to Singletary. Brickman will pull up for 3, short. What a time for Mono Vampire to misfire from beyond the arc.
They are 3 for 26 from downtown Sedelf. That's just 11% shooting from three-point range.
Go inside to Bernatowski. The referee says it's Saigon Heat basketball.
I thought it bounced off of the knee of Bernatowski.
5 minutes and 23 seconds left here. Plenty of basketball left to play. 11-point lead for Saigon. Tran with the inbound. Hughes the jumper. No good. Singletary grabs the rebound. That's his 10th rebound for tonight.
Mike Singletary getting his numbers on the regular, but the wins just haven't come with him.
Brickman. Singletary on the cut. And Hughes gives up the foul. Mono Vampire that time able to execute 4th foul on Hughes.
And there's still a lot of time remaining with 5 minutes left to play here. If Coach Kyle Julius pulls Trayvon Hughes out of the game, that's an opening that Mono Vampire has to capitalize on. And even if Coach Kyle allows Trayvon to play it out as he will, that's still an opportunity for Mono to keep attacking that guard.
13 points from Mike Singletary, below his average this season.
Oh, way below his average for sure. 27 points and is one of the top scorers in the ABL. Actually, the #1 scorer, tied with Ronaldo Balkman at 27 a game.
Hughes getting the mismatch on Malcolm White, using his speed. He drops it off to Durker, who just threw it up.
Yeah, no other way to describe that shot than just threw it up.
And Durker was able to intercept that basketball. Freddie Leash right there to recover. We'll see what the call is here, because Durker already got that basketball. Leash taking that ball away. That could be a foul on Durker.
Yeah, you know, when Lish took that ball away, it was clean. I didn't see any foul on Lish, but it seems like he stepped out of bounds, and that's why Saigon will get possession.
A terrific non-call there by referee, 79-70. Cotran will be whistled for the offensive foul.
It may not look like much because Koa is much smaller than Malcolm White, and they're jawing at each other. But there were bumps there. Tran just wasn't able to move White that much. That's why it wasn't evident.
9-point lead for the Heat, the Vampire. Trying to claw their way back in this ball game. They've done that in the second and third quarters.
Right now, Saigon hiding Trayvon Hughes on the defensive end. With they used the zone defense the last possession, but now there will be a foul. It's going to be on Barone.
Nice inbound there from Jason Brickman. Actually, Freddie Lees was wide open there. Oh, it is going to go against Trayvon Hughes, and he fouls out with 4 minutes and 9 seconds in this ball game. A big development here. 15 points and 6 assists.
My apologies. I thought that foul was on Barone. And again, it's just a 9-point lead with a lot of time. If Mono gets to climb back from this deficit, Saigon will want to have a Trayvon Hughes on the floor.
And immediately, Malcolm White capitalizes on that extra possession, 79-72. But inside, Durker finally gets the jam to go.
Tim well loving that action he's seeing from his teammates. It's the same thing, Sadov, back in the first quarter that Saigon was doing. Just driving, drawing the defense, and dishing it out to an open teammate.
Cotran gliding inside and scoring. What a response here from the Saigon Heat. Just moments after Trayvon Hughes left the game due to fouls, they get back-to-back baskets inside for an 11-point lead with 3:26 remaining. Mono Vampire trailing by 11 with 3 minutes and 26 seconds remaining here on their home floor.
You know, Sadov, we've been praising the imports of the Saigon Heat, particularly Kyle Barone, with 26 points and 16 rebounds. Trayvon Hughes, although he's fouled out, 15.6 assists, and Bernatowski with 17.6 assists as well. We got to bring in Chris Durker in that conversation. A Singletary brings Mono Vampire within 8. But Durker has 11 points, 12 rebounds, 2 steals, and 2 blocks. That's a big boost for the Heat.
A solid performance from Durker. Cotran, trying to go for an alley-oop. Bernatowski from the corner misses. Leash with the rebound. Lish for 3. Couldn't knock that one down. Mono Vampire going for that home run play. Bernatowski drops it off to Barone.
And that might be it, you know, as early as now. I know a lot can happen in 2.5 minutes, but that shot from Barone took a lot from the morale of the Mono Vampire.
Singletary short on the three. Bernatowski with the rebound. And one underrated part of the Saigon Heat's game here, Judd, I believe has been the way they've stolen the ball away from Mono Vampire. They have 11 steals in this ball game.
And Durker gets another slam. He's missed 3 jams, but he's also made 3 dunk attempts in this game. And anytime you get to try a dunk 6 times in a game, that's just so effective offense. That really means you're able to break down the defense so well.
Saigon Heat, after that timeout, have extended the lead 87-75. Mono Vampire trying to come up with one final assault to snatch this ball game. We'll be right back. Two minutes and 4 seconds remaining. Mono Vampire down by 12. In Stadium 29. Moses Morgan missing the 3, and that's been the story of this ball game. The 3 ball not going down for Mono Vampire. 4 of 29 for this ball game.
Yeah, actually, that's really where everything's coming from. As Durker, wow, what a game this has been for him.
Putting the exclamation point to a remarkable performance.
And yet another steal for him. And you know, it's easy to say that, oh, his teammates are finding him in the right places. But in order for players to spot him in the proper places, he has got to do his work in moving without that basketball. Now, more problems could possibly brew up on the side of the thighs. Singletary seemingly in severe pain.
Holding on to his groin area there.
It's like he got hit where it hurts. Oh, that's scary because it actually did not look like he got hit by someone or by anything. So that might be a pull. Oh, it looks like it's his wrist actually that he's holding on to. Perhaps on the fall, may have used it to cushion that fall. I just want to say, Sadelf, what I would give to be able to hold on to that net as easily as Malcolm White is doing so.
But the pain is clearly felt by Mike Singletary. Got a feel for Mike Singletary tonight. He has struggled mightily. Only 16 points. Has 11 rebounds though.
Worried look, of course. His wife and kid. Coach Kyle Julius, he initially was upset that the play was stopped when it was their basketball, because normally you don't stop the game when it's a possession of the when a guy is down and it's the possession of the opponent. But you know, it's practically a win already right now for Saigon. So I think the referees just decided, you know, let's attend to the hurt player, as this will be another big win for the Saigon Heat. They're going to be taking 4 straight wins already, Sedelf, and will improve their record to 10-4, the first team to get to 10 wins here in the 9th season of the ABL.
And another break for the Saigon Heat. Good pressure from Morgan. Renatowski was about to lose that basketball to Brickman, but somehow he recovers and bounces it off Brickman. It's been that type of game for the Saigon Heat. 14-point lead for the Heat on their way to a 4th straight victory. Saigon Heat on top, 91-77. White stopping the opportunity from Calderon, and Corey Celia getting the steal.
You talked about the steals of Saigon earlier, and those were hidden. The reason why you said that they were a bit underappreciated is because we highlighted the steals as the reason why Mono stole the advantage from Saigon in the second quarter, and that just tells you how much a part of the story of this game is defense. It was defense that got Mono back up in the second period. It was also the defense of Saigon that eventually got them the win here in the second half.
25 points. Mono Vampire. That's the output of Mono Vampire here in the second half. That is just huge considering that they had 35 points in the second period. That guy on the free throw line there.
He's just padding his stat line, and go ahead and do so, Chris, because your game today, that's the only knock on his performance today, possibly his free throw shooting, 2 for 8. Everything else has been more than spectacular.
By trying to just chop this deficit as we go into the final seconds of this ball game.
Tawaroj got the 3 and then gave up the foul. Mono not yet allowing Saigon to cruise on to a victory. I always believe that you got to fight until that final buzzer. That's why I'm okay with a team scoring, even though they already have the lead and are bound to get the win, because there's a reason why there's a timer for our games. Now, if
there's a lot of debate surrounding that.
Yeah, for sure. Different takes, and you got to respect all of them.
And Brickman pulls up. Goes in. Too little, too late for Mono Vampire. They're set to absorb their 11th loss of the season. Coach Doug Marty. Their only victories this season have come against Formosa, 89-74. That's their only home win. And their only road win was an 81-79 victory over the Singapore Slingers. Tough season for Mono Vampire after.
Indeed it is, but you have to understand too that win over Formosa is the number 3 team in the league right now. The Singapore Slingers, they're number 6. So while Mono is stuck with a 2-10 record right now, good just for second to the last at 9th, they are capable of beating good teams.
I do think they're better than their record.
Oh, absolutely. They definitely are, and it's just a matter of being unable to get to close it out late in the game, as they did here. Held the lead for a while, but eventually lost it, and Durker added more to his stat line, much to the dismay of Malcolm White.
It has finished here at Stadium 29, 98-83. A 4th straight victory for the Saigon Heat. Improve their record to 10-4. Kyle Barone leading the way, 28 points, 17 rebounds. Murphy Bernatowski, not a lot of production on the offensive end, but he had 7 assists. Malcolm White, 22 big points, but actually very quiet in the second half. Mexico Terry struggling from beyond the arc. Jason Brickman with 9 assists. Saigon Heat setting the tone for this victory with that great outside shooting to start the ball game. Mono Vampire exploding for 35 points in the second quarter, gaining control of this ball game. But in the second half, especially in the 4th period, it was just an all Saigon Heat show.
Yeah, definitely. It was only that second quarter where they kind of got a bit careless, maybe too complacent. They allowed Mono Vampire to 35 points, but in the second half, they recovered their rhythm and outscored the Mono Vampire by 20 points in that second half. Also got to a total of 30 in the 4th period. I'd say that the best performers in this game were Kyle Barone, who finishes with 28 points and 17 rebounds, and also a bunch of 3-pointers. Barone stroked 6 3-pointers, but Chris Durker really stepped up as well. 18 points and 15 rebounds, couple of blocks and steals added to the mix. That was just one heck of a performance.
He was the X factor, Chris Durker, as Saigon Heat posts their 10th victory. And we're also anticipating the Heat's matchup against San Miguel, Alab, Pilipinas. That happens on February 3. The top 2 teams in ABL Season 9 squaring off in the Philippines. Trayvon Hughes had 15 points before fouling out. And Saigon Heat surviving his absence as they return home with a huge win, 98-83 over Mono Vampire. For my partner Justin Sulit, Sidelv Tupas saying goodbye from Stadium 29 in Nonthaburi, Thailand. It's the ASEAN Basketball League Season 9, Rise to Greatness.